Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Let's start it off with a disclaimer and we're going to run. Investing and trading in the financial markets impose substantial risk to where one can lose all or more than their initial investment. The content provided by myself are for educational purposes only. All ideas and forecasts mentioned within are simply my opinions and not investment or trading advice. Trade at your own risk. All right, let's jump right into it. The first one we're going to go into is the euro. All right, we're gonna move fast, and hopefully you have a guess of where we came from already, so you know where we're sort of going. All right, we was using on Friday and pretty much for the weeks before this May low, the end of May to June highs as support, but obviously with this Greek stuff, we just blew right through it. All right, so there was no support there, nobody to soak that up. All right. We're coming down to this original main support now, drawn from these April 13th lows. Now you can either draw them to the May, excuse me, May 1st highs or the May 15th highs. One is slightly more conservative setup, meaning that you won't get whipped out of your position. But honestly, yeah, yeah, pretty much you see the difference in the red lines. All right, so be mindful. I'm just going to be using these ones coming into. I believe we will be drawing to here. However, it's not an exact science. All right, so just be mindful. There are two to draw from. Okay. Um, and originally this setup had broke, so you really do have to give it room down to the setup. All right, which it is trading right now. Okay. But instead of playing guess me games, we're gonna wait for a short to break. How do we know a short will break? Oh man, this is killing me. Let's take our time. There you go. So it obviously has not traded yet. It has rooms all the way down to the 109.13s. Alright, but how do we know when a short will break? Well, let's just go right into the action. Down to a 15-minute chart. These lows from Friday's lows to lows. Bam. Let's see what happens when it gets up into this area. Alright, if it gets rejected or not. If it can get above these 107.2s, we can be a little where that support that has traded has held. All right. Remember, we do have two setups, either from this low to high. I am not drawing from the 104.73s. From this low to, again, the May 1st highs, or these highs. Excuse me, these highs. Not sure which setup is trading. All right, so we're not going to guess. We're just going to wait for the short to break. All right, and again, that's coming in at the 107.2s. All right, the 107.2s. All right. I already nibbled a little bit. I nibbled on Friday, and those are getting hammered. Um, and I also nibbled just this evening. Starting this video late because running into technical difficulties with this headphone, and I had to get the original headphones that I had brought from the person that took it. Invested decent money, and they started taking them from me. All right, we're going to jump right into next. Let's jump into nat gas real quick. All right. And I'm happy I took profits on this noise on this big green bar right here. Well, blue. Uh, this green bar. All right. We was drawn from these June 3rd, 4th, 5th lows to these 9, 10, 11 highs, somewhere around there. All right. I can't see the date exactly. All right, but we drew from low to highs and it gave us a decent support level. However, any kind of continuation has failed, obviously, with Friday's actions. If you measured from the 23rd of June's lows to highs. I didn't mean to draw that. Let me get rid of this. Give me a second. Let's snap this over if we could. Alright, we're just going to be about. If you can see, if Friday's action broke clearly on this red candle right here. Alright, so anything that, if you're not confident in the setup, just drop it. And you should have dropped it Friday. And it gives you a chance to rebuy the support level, which I did again. Alright, I didn't drop all of mines. I had brought one contract on QG here. I had brought it 282. So that was underwater. That was well pretty much up here. Alright, so I brought here 282. I brought this day right on 2737s, and those anything that I brought here I already dropped it off. So now I'll be buying this level one more time, and I'm probably just gonna buy just one contract, and again my stop still goes here. Alright, under the 2694s, because I'm not gonna hold down to this next support level. Alright, because that will be a second test of this level, and the second test is it's dangerous. Plain and simple, there's no way to guess if that level would hold or not. So I'm not gonna hold that down. All right. If anything, I'll nibble when we get down here. But to be honest, I'd rather wait for the short to break, if anything. And what's the short? It's likely from here. Mouse, why are you acting up on me? I think the short broke already. Yeah, the short broke. Wow. There's no resistance up above. Right, but just can't say that it won't go down, because what can happen is we can break this, trade this setup again, and just rally. All right, so just be mindful if you got it somewhere in here, don't hold it below this level. All right, that's it for nat gas pretty much. Uh, Gold, I'm not gonna really go into it. Got to get above 1244. All right, that's my sentiment about it. Anything that I buy on gold is pretty much physical. I'm not gonna be playing in the futures market until we get above 1244, and that's my standings on that. Bonds, something very interesting today. If I would have got this video out earlier, I would have said something completely different. But looking at this chart right now, as my thesis was before, I was very bullish bonds. I am bullish bonds, and you can just go over my Twitter feed and know that I have targets well up above at 176. Or excuse me, I don't have targets. The charts are saying that bonds are going to be trading 176s. All right. Let's just go over bonds real quick. All right. Let's get rid of this, because if I would have had this video out earlier, let's just get into it. All right. From October, excuse me, you can even say from the beginning of January's lows of 2014 to 2015's high, if you snap a fib from low to highs, it's going to give you the support level at 147 tenths. And a few days ago, it was maybe more about a week ago, all right, around this level. And I remember I had to chase this level up because the 147s didn't trade. And in fact, if you look up on the status bar over here, right in this where I'm pointing at, it'll show you that the lows came in 147.16 on this red candle. All right, so that was a 6 tick run, which on it normally it would be about for bonds about a 4 tick run, a 4 tick front run tops, 4 ticks. All right, this nice double bottom, a lower low to trap anybody to trap shorts. It didn't dig in. It did not dig into this level. Can we? Yeah, possible. Um, but a few days ago, mind you, remember I was telling you that bonds was a short and only into support. I mean, I seen this level. It was measured from these Friday highs, not last Friday, the Friday before, to Tuesday's lows. All right. Remember, I was telling you was it if I would have drew it right, it would have been 150.06s. It would have been 150.06s you're supposed to short, and it targets 147.06s. Well, the short did not complete its profit target. All right. The short did not complete its profit target at the 147.06s, but instead it traded support. It missed it by 1 tick, and now it's breaking a short. And honestly, this level is really drawn from this high to the new low now. Absolutely just ripped right through it, the same way the euro just did pretty much this evening. All right, so bonds just confirmed this long. Bonds just confirmed this long today. All right, so believe in the hype on TV that, rates are already heading higher. Well, you just got suckered, because they're not. The only way I will say that bonds are running into trouble is we print below 142s. Excuse me, that's 142.22. So we got to get well below that level. All right. Bonds are headed up to 176.04s, as I've been saying for a while. All right. And mind you, we didn't go nowhere yet. So we still got a long ways to go. You do the math that on a one lot, you're talking about some substantial paper money right there. All right. And I'm going to be looking for ways to get into this because I missed this completely. I missed the short because my short was 150.06s, and now I missed the long. All right, so it is what it is, but I do recognize the long is trading. All right. Anyways, let's figure out what's next. All right, let's get right to the oil. All right, running through them. Casually, these videos take too long. All right, oil. So, tell you think you know something, then you don't. All right, so oil. You can say the euro still. I mean, depending on the way you draw it, it has not traded support. So be mindful. As I had said, oil had the tendency to break. So this first level in the bull flag broke with today's overnight session. All right. Let's just show you what it was drawn from. All right, pretty much I was drawing from these June 5th lows. All right. And remember I told you last time it can be drawn from here. So let's see how that looks if we was to draw it from there. Let's get rid of this and get back to the retracements. Bam. Bam, we are trading. All right, so one can actually take this long right now with a very tight stop right on the 54s. And you're targeting up at 63.11s. All right, but at the same time, just be mindful. If that doesn't hold, you're going back to this area. All right, because again, the euro still has not, depending on which way you drew it, has not traded support. The conservative setup still has a few, I think about 40 pips more to dig into. All right, so just be mindful. Oil can do the same thing. All right. There's really nothing else to say but that. And again, this video would have been totally different if I would have had posted it. I was getting ready to start it a little earlier, but I just had problems. And from here, from lows to lows, all right, we're not considering what happened right now. We're just talking about past, all right, but Friday this had broke, and being that it traded this support level, all right, remember this support is slightly different compared to the one we just erased, but we broke a short, and the euro didn't trade support yet, so again, everything else is sloppy until the euro gets down into a support. This is the reason why things like this happen. You won't get a clean trade, you know? It's whether this one will break or this one won't even trade, it'll be front run by 20. All right, so counter trend tends to be very sloppy. All right, the trending moves are the ones that have clean setups that will give you nice that will give you clean measured moves that will dip in and trade at profit targets. All right, and if they break, they're breaking for a reason. Um, but again, just be mindful. You have two setups below you. All right, and obviously this is wrong. I'm happy I trimmed. All right, because pretty much what I had did, I was buying this level. Uh, I brought pretty much 6 ticks below and halfway down and put my stop in. Again, this wasn't the right level. It was really, your line in the sand was really over here. I'll show you how it looks. Again, we was drawing from this low. All right. So let's get rid of this one real quick. All right, and you'll see pretty much on Friday it went right to the tick. So I had grabbed that, put a stop. You had a three penny stop loss on that trade. And as soon as we cleared right back to it, we had broke the short. I covered that one. Everything below here. The reason why I really didn't trust it on Friday because it was sloppy, even going up. You even broke. There was no clue that that was gonna hold. And you would expect clean setups. I mean, you could have drew to that red candle and it still broke. So again, you want clean setup. So it was a clue that something was up. So again, being nimble, because nimble wins. You had to cover. All right, at least some, at least book some. And mind you, I'm taking a beating right now. I'm going back to I'm almost. If oil keeps going down, I'm gonna get flat on this trade. I mean, it is what it is. This is why again you take these small trades and you just book them. You have to. All right, so we broke, and it was actually wasn't even that level. It was over here. Excuse me. This is where I cleared off the majority from those lows. That was I booked most of that at 40, and I booked this level, and I flattened out here. All right, the reason why I flattened out here, just to show you why, was because if I forget for this amount, I'm gonna make sure I get my appropriate tools back next time. All right, but from this low to high, I drew this way first, and then I knew there was another option just in case we went from low to high. All right, I'm not gonna snap that one, but it was funny how we didn't trade the pullback, but yet we went to its profit target. So I took that as opportunity. I booked. As soon as I started seeing red, I just booked. And then as soon as we went to this profit target, I booked it again. Because I booked this red only to rebuy this level. But again, this level didn't trade. So once I seen this happen, I just booked everything that I had brought from this line on down. I flattened it out. And I still have my core. And that's pretty much it. I was even going to look forward to, again, if this video would have came out earlier, I would have been saying to look at this level. But then again, if this level breaks, which it would do because the euro did not trade support. It will just trade its original setup. But come to find out, this original setup broke. So we still have one setup below us, one immediate setup, and then one that doesn't come in play for another dollar or so. All right, so it is what it is. This is why, again, get into the habit of taking some off the table, because if things go awry, you can always salvage a trade somehow. So again, one more time. This is pretty much the only level you really have. This is what's going to determine this trend on oil. If oil gets below this 56.32, then you have a long ways down until all the way halfway back. That's all the way down at the 52s. And that's a long ways away. And I dare not hold any of my position past this level. Everything that I was scooping up in this flag and on these tails here, I will not hold. Right? Especially if it breaks this level. I'm only gonna give it the benefit of this level right here. And then I'm gonna be booking it. That's it. This is my line in the sand on the remainder of this position. I will not let it go right on me. 58, 53s. And if anything, because I missed it, I did not buy this level today. The only thing I nibbled on was the euro, and that still has ways to go down. But if 58, 53s trade, and that's the remainder of the stop on all the positions I own regarding on oil. All right, I will not let it go against me. Going forward, I would just wait on the euro to trade its support. Because this is going to tend to be sloppy. It will continue to break a short setup, but then again, it can continue to go down at the same time. So if you're taking any trades, be nimble on this one until the euro trades its support. This is the reason why I started off with the euro first thing. I feel that is the most important. If you get the euro right, you'll get everything else right. All right. And again, euro has to get above 1072s. Long ways up. So well, about another 60 ticks. All right. Let's go to these equity markets. I gotta say the equity markets definitely surprised me though. They definitely did. I didn't see the equity markets acting like this in wake of whatever the news is. I honestly don't know and don't care. I tell you, I do not pay attention to any news. All right, I pay attention to and focus on the charts. But whatever had happened, obviously equities had an adverse reaction to it. So going forward, and again, this changed everything the way I would handle this video. So I'm happy it worked out this way, because now we can address what's in front of us right now. But obviously, the major support level has broke from Tuesdays. These 2061s. Yeah, these 2061, that's exactly what it was. 2061.75s up to the 2122s. That was your line in the sand on this bull bear trade. And again, this line that you see over here, this 7-year profit target, is very significant. That's measured from the 1576s up to the highs before the October dip last year. All right, that's what we got this measurement. And this is the reason why for the last 6 months that the markets have been going straight sideways, consolidating. People, institutions have been getting net flat to net short in front of you, telling you to buy the dip. And I've been trying to warn everybody about this, and sometimes you're met with laughs and whatever. It's you have the people who refuse to believe what's in front of them, and it's understandable. It's a weakness I guess we all struggled with at one time or another, but the warnings were in front of you. For all the people who were curious and did see what or had the feeling that something was not right and at least took the time to investigate, congratulations, because now you're sitting more at a gain than a loss. And I just want to say going forward, yeah, it's sort of sad, man. Again, I wish not I don't wish no harm on anybody. I wish this market would just continue higher. It's a lot easier and when the market goes down because obviously there's going to be a lot of suckers play going on going forward to where a lot of people are going to get sucked into buying the dips and they're going to get hurt. And again, going forward, I just want to say once this level breaks, see if I could draw it right. Obviously not. Just making a mess. And I got, give me 1 second. It has to be from here and here. It's the only other way to draw it. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes I lose track of levels, and let's get rid of this one. All right, these 2028s. If I were to draw it more accurate, this should have showed up as about 2028. It's really once 2027 quarters print, 3/4 print. Once that level breaks, I'm going to be extremely quiet or very selective on what I say on Twitter, especially regarding the equity markets. A lot of people are very tied up in unicorns and rainbows, as I like to put it, and I am not going to promote or give anybody the idea that I'm making money on the way down while they're losing. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Once this level breaks, I'm probably not going to talk about the ES, the T. I'm not going to be talking about the equity markets anymore. I'm just going to just listen. I'm just going to just pay attention to what I guess the psychology is of people, how they talk about things. I'm just going to watch and listen. All right, but for the most part, I'm not going to talk about them much. Um, I may say once in a while, once we get to a major support level of where to be trimming at, or be looking at to take some profits on the short. But we just confirmed we just topped. This market has definitely topped, and I've been saying this for a while. To pay attention, and everybody gets suckered in on these highs that we're about to break out, like it's 2000, like it's a tech bubble. You know, back then people were buying breakouts and making money. Lately, buying breakouts have not been working. Right? And I think this is where, as I said before, there's a lot of clues to things changing. All right, a big shift, and it's in front of us. And this is the only next support level. These 28s. We come down to these 2047s and break 2026s. Game over. You just confirmed a validation. That's pretty much all you did. So I'm gonna get rid of these lines, and I'm gonna scroll out, and I'm gonna show you this next support level. All right, because it gets modified a little bit. All right, we're gonna leave this up here. I'm gonna hide all of this. I'm gonna hide this one, this, the half. I'm gonna hide the 0. I'm gonna leave the profit target there. And see if I can hide the curve somehow. Yeah, the curve is shown. Okay, we'll just leave that. That's not a big problem. But again, it's from the same level up until these 2134s. So the 15, I don't know why I have that written as that, but let's just check it. Yeah, 15, 1586.75s. I don't know why, but this level is wrong. So let me just redraw this. 1586.75s. 1586.75. Sorry about that. All right, and we're just gonna redraw that. 1586.75s, and we're gonna do it ourselves. 1586.75s up until the end point is 2134s, the high of the market. All right. One more thing. We're just gonna make these dominant. However, we know these are the big boys. All right. Okay. So now just going forward, those 2028s, we break below there. Do you see those numbers on the right hand side? These 1860s, these 1795s. That's where we're heading. We are heading to these levels. We break 2028s. That's where we are heading. All right. We trade below 1795s. 1795s. We trade below. We print 1795 halves. This extension is broke. And that's when you can say there will be bearish conditions. Until then, we are in a bull market. And if this level does trade, meaning we trade 1860s, between these two levels, we trade between these levels and we break a short, we have targets up at the 2263s. All right, but this is a long ways away. We're now taking profits and we're looking to trade down into these levels. All right, as I said before, I remain short these markets, and we're gonna take this one step at a time. I got spanked out on Friday on a short, only because I was looking for continuation. I added back after booking lows of the days. All right, I just look back on the Twitter. Look at what I was telling you before it hit. What was the profit targets? I gave you 86 halves. What was the low of the day? 86 quarters. I was giving you these profit targets well around this area. All right. How did I get that now? All right. Trading up. We had one measured move. Up. That traded. We blew through it. So we assumed that we was running extensions. Extensions broke. Even if it was the next measured move, the next measured move broke on Thursday. Measured from these 2122s down to these Wednesday lows. You can see where I'm pointing to right over here. All right. I gave you these levels well before. I gave you these levels where the next short was because we broke a short somewhere in the, I think it was in the overnight time frame. We broke a short. I told you if we get above these, we're going to trade this level. Well, that's exactly what happened. And the only way you had access to that was in pre-market Globex. All right. Early bird gets the worm. All right. A lot of people that I know took those shorts, and we took them to targets at the 94s. After booking 94s, we started looking for continuation. We got that from measuring from the 13s down to those lows. Right? You have to sort of be nimble with this. Only way to get into this without, you know, you want to know if you wasn't getting front run, well, you had to get a tighter setup, and you measured it from the 08s. It was the 11 o'clock highs on Thursday to lows, and I gave you a better entry on it. You just still, if you was to use that as your entry, the 99s, the 0100s, you still had to use 04s as your stop. But you're gonna target. You can't use this as your target. You have to use this setup as your target. And that's what got me the 86 halves on that day. All right. I tried to get back into it and be greedy. All right. You know what happens when you try to be greedy. All right. So I try to get back into it using these highs, I believe, again. All right. Exactly. All right. So let's get rid of this. It's exactly what it was. I like when I remember things. All right. I took this short right here. All right. Right on this candle. All right. I sold 92 halves. All right. I sold 92 halves, and I put my stop right above 95 quarters. Yeah, 95 quarters, I got stopped out 95 halves. All right, so once you had booked this, yeah, you're damn right. I tried again. I tried to get greedy, and yeah, I lost a few ticks. All right, but again, it was a small trade, and you take what it gives you. Sometimes you don't know if it's gonna break. I mean, the only inkling that you had was that the extreme low tick, we was printing minus 1100, minus 1200 on a 9C tick. So that gave you an inkling that that probably was the low of the day. So you really shouldn't be taking any other shorts, and especially it was a Friday. All right, so this went to target. All right, this is the other setup that went to the 86 halves. I mean, being greedy on a Friday. I mean, you're going to get hurt. All right. So with that said, you take what it gives you. But then again, you know, the Russell, the only short that I walked away with that I didn't have to cover was the Russell. That my ads they held. I didn't reshort the Nasdaq. All right, but the Russell, and I'm actually booking all of this. I'm actually going to be flat the Russell as of today, right? Because that was enormous. From Friday, that retrade back up. We actually went from this wasn't it. This is a new level. Let me erase this. This was going forward, but from highs, the Russell highs to lows, this was my only short, and yeah, it was the same level. All right, yeah, and pretty much right on that high, I had to reshort the Russell. I got stopped out on the ES, but we kept the Russell, and bam, right to target, right to target. This is paying for my euro loss right now. So you know, this is the only reason why I'm sort of I'm feeling good tonight, or this afternoon, you can say. All right. You know, we got some interesting happenings in these markets today, and I only wish and hope you guys would just wake up and smell the coffee, the real coffee. All right, trade them safe, and let's try to keep this profitable this week. Peace. Real quick before I forget, just going forward, how do we get into this now? Okay, downtrend is here. How do we get in? Same thing, 21.22s. You can use these 21.22s lows, these 20.54s. All right, it's a good chance, you know, being that as we open into Monday, you know how I like to say nothing happens, you never miss nothing on the Monday, and that's not my saying. I was taught this. All right, Mondays you just act like it never happened. So there's a very good chance we could be flat on the day pretty much. I mean, we can go all the way back up to these 87s. All right, and possibly up into these 95s, but above 95, you know, the short is wrong. But however, I really do think, I mean, not to say we can't push lower, you just have to redraw from there. However, you draw from high to lows, and that's your short. All right, so if we don't make any new lows, if we don't make any new lows past these 2054s, all right, mind you, today is June 28th. All right, it's after Globex. Globex already opened. All right, if we make any new lows below 2054, just redraw it again, 2122s to whatever lows, and it'll give you these entries and entries and stops and targets. We're going all the way down to 2037 next. All right, so this is pretty huge. Let's real quick just draw that up as far as with that other support level we was looking at. Dun, 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 dun. All right, it's gonna look something like that. However, this is not, I didn't draw it right, but pretty much this red line, well, the 61.8 will be about 2028s, and again, that will still into support. All right, and if that holds again, that gives us targets up at the 2170s. All right, but again, that must hold. All right, we must not print below those 2028s. All right, so again, let's see what happens. All right, if anything, we didn't trade this level yet. We didn't trade the long yet. All right, we're coming very close to it. We did not trade it yet. So it's just trying to say that the long does not trade, but will we bounce up first into the short and then come down and pretty much wind up re-breaking it again? I mean, very possible. We'll see what happens. All right, and pretty much that's it for the evening.